9:42, if you did suffer damage or loss of property from Hurricane Matthew, you are not alone.
But there are certainly resources that can help you out. Also, if you want to volunteer, there's a place for you. So joining us now with the Red Cross, Christian Smith, who I know you're exhausted. You said you have some of your volunteers who are staying with you all because they had to evacuate and have nowhere to go.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just what happens. I mean, they're used to it, and of course, we always see them coming here every day, and then they're going someplace else. Well, so now it's us. Right. So, and we have lots of people coming from other communities across the Red Cross network, and so they're here. They're great people, and they're full of experience and expertise. So, as we go through the next couple of days, getting ready to do our mobile feeding, still working in the shelters.
Well, let me ask you, are there any shelters open?
Yeah, we do. We still have 2 shelters open right now. Primarily, most of the people are in the Legend Center that we're running, and so those families are the ones that, they still aren't able to go back into their homes for lots of different reasons. Some have damage, some because of the power situation, and then some people just have personal circumstances where it's best for them to stay in that environment.
And you said really the next step for you guys is to go out into the neighborhoods and assess where you are needed.
Right. And, we have teams that go out and do damage assessment, and so that gives us an idea of how many people, how many homes, and then what kind of services, what are they going to need from us, and then how do we do that over the next couple of days.
And how do you help exactly? Because that seems like something that an insurance company would also help with, like, oh yeah, we have damage here. But then how does Red Cross play a role?
So we do a couple of things. One is, in order for us to figure out, how many meals, how many comfort kits, how many cleanup kits, the kinds of services that we provide is based on what happens when they go into those communities and be able to assess how many people are going to need it. So we have to come up with a planning number. We have to identify the neighborhoods, the people. We have to be able to say, okay, there's going to be this many families. And of course, it's an estimate based on the damage and based on the reports that we get from those families. And that allows us to make really good decisions about how many resources we're going to need, whether it's in Duval County or Clay County or St. Johns County. And remember, we're doing all of it. So we go all the way across. And so we do that a couple of different ways. One from the homeowners themselves, one working with our partners, great partners like emergency management. We work with the insurance company. We work with everyone. We're all working together to identify the best places for us to be, the best places to take mobile feeding. And then, of course, as we transition to it, what are going to be the more longer term needs? But right now for us, it's sheltering, feeding, and then getting out into those communities and distributing what people need.
And it's so interesting because, these are people who probably never thought that they would need the Red Cross. They're like, oh, I have family and I have friends. And, but this is a case where maybe those people aren't available to you. So when you go into those communities, I mean, you just you said you kind of pull up the bullhorn and say, hey, we're here, come out?
They drive in, and, it's the big Red Cross, emergency response vehicle. They drive in, they make an announcement, the Red Cross is here, please come out for lunch, please come get bottled water, please come get, and we do that so that allows people not to have to come to us. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes we don't have fixed sites, but in this particular case, we've made the decision based on what we're hearing and based on what we know about the communities, it's going to be better for us to go into those communities to better assess.
And where are you hearing are some of the worst hit places?
Well, we've spent the afternoon in Atlantic Beach yesterday and parts of Neptune Beach, and so they're pockets. So if you are like some of our very dear friends that their whole home has had to be gutted, they're pulling their floors up. So what happens is if you don't see it on television, then you don't understand. But if it's your house and you have water 6 inches, 2 inches, if you have this much water in your house, that is a tragedy for you and your family. We have lots of people that have down trees. So there's pockets in Mandarin, we see pockets in Clay, we see lots of it, probably most likely that in the Mayport, there are some areas along there that they're looking at. So, and I'm just randomly pulling ones that, that we're seeing on the wall. Right. So it's really based on when the individuals call us or from the street sheets that we're receiving in.
And as far as volunteers, I mean, you guys have a list of people that you can call on, but if you're not on that list and you do want to help, is there an opportunity?
Yeah, so everybody's been working well before the storm, so those individuals, we want to start transitioning them out so that we're going to keep the shelters open, so we want to make sure that we have people to work in sheltering. We're going to have the opportunity for people to work in damage assessment, but then also people to come and be a part of the distribution of whatever services we think are going to be necessary.
Yeah, we've been on many disaster sites and sometimes even personal disasters like fires. And I will tell you that seeing the Red Cross there is such a comfort, and getting some aid from the Red Cross is just, you think, wow, thank you for being there.
Yeah, well, and that it's all about the volunteers. I mean, there's a very, very, very small professional staff, and the rest are all these wonderful, amazing people. And so in our case, we don't just have them here, we have the ones that have come in. So everybody's just a big family. And, you know, this is a great community. When we live here, we know how it is. And so I love the fact, and I know how it is to you personally, but I love the fact that people feel that way about the Red Cross. We're not perfect. We're going to make some mistakes. So we're going to remind everybody to please be patient with us. But as we go through this process, this is what we do. And we want to make it, you know, as easy as possible to be able to help people. And we just need to give people the opportunity to come and let them help us as well.
Do you have any needs? I mean, any donations that you all need from the community?
Well, you know, at this point, you know, for those individuals that are able to, you know, that haven't sustained damage, you know, obviously we're going to have to start raising money to help to cover, and you know, this is going to be a huge operation for us, and so we're looking at, you know, ways in which we can partner. We have some wonderful corporate partners that have already stepped up, and we have a lot of individuals calling and wanting to help. So, you know, as people come in, you know, volunteering is critical, and you know, your time, your talent, and obviously
your treasure.
So
I know you're embarrassed to ask
well,
for it.
no, never embarrassed. Never embarrassed.
I'll never forget handing over my check on September 11th. After that, I remember you guys out there. So thanks,
we were so
Christy.
young then.
We were so young.
We were all so young.
I was in high school, so I don't know about you guys. Just kidding.
I'm going to move over now.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you for the work, and thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.